Oh, welcome back, everyone. Today is You Pick It, I Draw It Wednesdays with a little bit of a twist. We can be talking about conspiracy theories today and drawing some funky stuff. But I don't know if anyone's on yet, so I'll give it a couple more minutes to gonna wait a minute and see who all is gonna pop up. And then see. Currently trying to do like 50 different things at once. Dang it. Apparently my thumbnail's still too big. Let's see. Let's see. And welcome to those of you who have just shown up. Thank you. Just trying to finish this up real quick. Yeah, it is. I'm gonna draw and then we're gonna probably talk about it and stuff like that. So if you have any cool ones, let me know. That way we can kind of just chit-chatting and hanging out and stuff like that while streaming. Now I can go back to this. There we go. Got it all set up. How are you doing tonight, Ginge? We're going to start off with a black background. Battle Axe Dragon Wheel! Hey, Anagamey, how are you? I'm not feeling this music. let's get in the mood for it. All right. So, if you guys, you guys are picking something I draw, and then in the meantime, we can chat about conspiracy theories and all that fun stuff. It'll be fun. I'm doing pretty okay. I'm doing pretty okay. Oh, also for the 3 of you that are in the room, please like this video. It lets YouTube know on the algorithms that put me out there and get people's attention. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so today we are starting off with a drawing of my choice. I happened to see it as a wallpaper and I felt like I wanted to draw it. So stick with me around for that. Remember the last time I did this in Twitch for the conspiracy theory and stuff like that? Yeah, that one got kind of interesting. So this isn't going to be the most awesomest drawing in the world. Wow. See, now I'm going to have to make that all black. But it kind of works. Alright, we'll start off with the eyeball. What's making bacon? It's kind of a little demon character. But he's not going to be exactly like perfect. It's kind of like sketched. So it kind of gives it like more of that creepy feel. So there's not going to be like too much shading and stuff like that. Just enough to emphasize. Kind of like on the chaos. So yeah. So, hey Aiden, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's your day been? I moved to the basement, so now I don't need to share a room with my little brother. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. If your little brother wanted to watch, he could log on from a different device. This channel tends to be very kid-friendly on occasion. So yeah. So today we are doing conspiracy theories and art. So if you have any fantastic conspiracy theories that you wish to discuss, please do not hesitate. And if I don't know that one, I'll be more than happy to be enlightened. And look deeper into the subject. It's because I try to keep my mouth shut. Yeah, yeah. Can you draw Chuck E. Cheese recycle pieces theory? What's that one? Can you enlighten me on what that theory is? I'm just going to kind of... This is just a quick warm-up sketch. It's nothing in particular. So there's pizza. Does not look like a circle. It looks terrible. It looks like they used leftover pizza to form a new pizza to save money. Oh, it sounds like Chuck E. Cheese in general. Let's see, Chuck E. Cheese recycled pizza theory. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little backstory on this. So what it is saying is that Chuck E. Cheese oddly shaped pizza ignites a bizarre conspiracy theory viewed by millions on YouTube. Is the animatronic mouse who greets customers at Chuck E. Cheese harboring a dark secret? Ooh. I'm not going to say this YouTuber's name because he's kind of controversial right now. A massively popular internet personality thinks it might be. The YouTuber added a fuel to a bizarre, decade-old conspiracy theory on Monday when he posted a video promising an in-depth investigation into misshapen pizzas. I mean, misshapen pizzas isn't too hard to... So you know what? So to go into the theme of this... Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy. On misshapen pizza... slices. All right. So I got that pulled up. So It says, as photos uploaded to Instagram, Yelp, and TripAdvisor demonstrates the crusts on Chuck E. Cheese slices don't always line up to form a perfect circle. To this YouTuber, who has more than 20 million subscribers on YouTube and whose videos have been viewed more than 4.7 billion times since 2005, this merited further research. So he says, so I noticed this when I was 8 years old or something. He said, I was like, wait a minute, how come all the pieces are different? A Google search turned up 2 Yahoo Answer threads 10 years ago in which concerned customers postulated that staff at Family Friendly Chain were cycling pizza slices that get left behind on table after customers finish eating. In the video, this guy suggests that Chuck E. Cheese employees could be reheating those old leftover slices and using them to form new pizzas, despite the fact there is no evidence of this has emerged in the past decade. So it's just a theory, he said, later saying out loud, am I going to get sued? CEC Entertainment, the parent company for Chuck E. Cheese, hasn't indicated yet whether they plan to take legal action against the YouTube star. But they did feel compelled to respond to the video, which had more than 14 million views as of whatever date it was released. So yeah, I guess that's a whole running theory that's running around, that Chuck E. Cheese reuses their pizza slices. Now, in your guys' opinion, do you think that's true? And the thing is I would be more inclined to actually believe it, because I mean their pizzas taste like booty. They really do. They're actually worse than Little Caesars. In my humble opinion, they are actually worse than Little Caesars. Now, if you don't know what a Chuck E. Cheese is, you can either look it up, but especially if you're from a different country and you don't have Chuck E. Cheeses, Chuck E. Cheese is pretty much just like a kid's playground kind of thing. And they specialize in pizzas. And then while the parents and stuff are chilling out at the tables, eating pizza and then hanging out and whatnot, the kids typically go running around, playing games and stuff like that. But to touch on Anagamiac's point where it says like Five Nights at Freddy, at the front of the store that's closest to me, they actually have a giant Chuck E. Cheese animatronic that only activates when certain songs on the TV go off, and he like just sits there and sings and stuff like that. It's really creepy, and yeah. So, what do you guys think? Do you think, we'll take a poll. How many of you guys think Chuck E. Cheese reuses their pizza slices? If you know what it is. These pizza's gonna look a little scary. But yeah, thank you for the Chuck E. Cheese conspiracy theory. I didn't actually know that was a thing until now. But it brings up some good points, though. Being an ex-chef, there would be significant taste, visual, texture difference, but I have never eaten there, so I wouldn't know. You're not missing out on much, trust me, Ginge. Actually, no, they haven't gone bankrupt. Little Caesars is actually, yeah, it tastes like cardboard. I cannot stand eating Little Caesars. But yeah, they didn't go bankrupt. There's actually 2 near me. At least, I think. There might be more. Not sure. But I know there is a few near me, and trust me, they're going strong, especially with the amount of police officers and stuff like that. With the amount of police officers and stuff like that still show up because some mom got mad that little Jimmy couldn't get on the dinosaur game before Susie Ann, and of course mom and dad get into a fist fight. So it literally is like, I used to be a store manager for Dumb as well, so I would doubt the reusing a lot. If you tasted these, you'd be kind of questioning that theory as well. It literally tastes like cardboard. Like, no freaking joke. Put some mushroom toppings on here. Put another arm out here. A little leg down here. Alright. Now we need to get the yellow cheese. But yeah. No! Okay. Did I get that closed off? I think I got it closed off enough. I gotta go bright yellow for the cheese. There we go. And then we need to go brown for the crust. I like this music. Darling de France is. I do not know what that is. If you wouldn't mind elaborating. Now, why isn't the chat working over here? Let's see. Undo. I'm not the best at explaining, but I can tell you it's a good anime series. Oh! Okay. So it's an anime series. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, do we have another theory? Alright, so while I'm finishing up on this pizza... So, the most popular theories in America. Alright, so is everyone, what about the theory that your Mr. Trump is a time traveler? Ooh, that actually... Okay. Let's check. They have that as a Doctor Who. So, it says, in today's skeptic world, a new conspiracy has arrived. The theory claims that Donald J. Trump and his family time traveled from a distant time to our current history with the intentions of ruling over our beloved country. Okay. This crazy yet horrifying discovery is backed up by a strange set of coincidences and conjecture. This all started when someone came across some books on the Office of Congress's library website. The books are called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey and 1900 or The Last President. I'm going to have to look those up. I don't know. Both were written in the 1890s by Ingersoll Lockwood. Ooh. That's kind of weird, though. His name is Baron Trump. It says, the book themselves are real. Look them up for yourself, but wait, it gets better. The plot of the first book about Baron Trump includes the story about a young boy who finds a secret portal and time travels. Dan Yvonne of Snopes.com gives a great in-depth description of the eerie connection. Says there are some incredible connections made to the first family of the United States in Lockwood's novels from the turn of the 19th century. For starters, the main character's name is the same as President Donald J. Trump's son. Ooh. Albeit spelt differently, Trump's adventures begin in Russia and are guided thanks to directions provided by the master of all masters, a man named Don. Before leaving for his voyage through the unknown, Trump is told of his family's motto: the pathway to glory is strewn with pitfalls and danger. But wait, it gets even creepier. Apparently, Lockwood wrote a sequel to the series novels 4 years after the initial publication of his first book. In his third novel, 1900 or The Last President, things link eerily to the present day. The story begins with a scene from the panicked New York City in early November, describes a state of uproar after an election in which an enormously opposed outsider is granted power. An outsider candidate... Sound familiar? After a chaotic scene in New York City, we find out that the man who won the presidency is extremely wealthy and resides on Fifth Avenue. In case you didn't know, the Trump Tower resides on Fifth Avenue. Ooh. As crazy as it sounds, once Lockwood's character becomes president, he begins choosing people for this cabinet. One of the first people he picked, was a man named LaFay Pence. Woo. Sorry. I had a little pizza earlier that kind of tickled my throat a little bit. I cannot stress this enough. Illuminati! If you're interested in theory, then I suggest look it up. There is much more information on the topic to uncover. Although these books contain seemingly bizarre coincidences, it can't be known for certain if Donald J. Trump, with all of his presidential power, has the mean to have access to a time machine. Although this is certainly an interesting topic and arouses discussion, time travel conspiracy theories tend to nitpick evidence that supports the claims, ignoring any rebuttals or conflicting material. We're having conspiracy theories. I had just done a drawing from the Chuck E. Cheese theory, and right now we're on to the Donald Trump is a time traveler theory right now. That we never made it to the moon. Yeah, I can actually touch on that here in a second. So, but now I am done with this feller. I just gotta sign him so I can jump on to the next one. So I'm gonna try doing some drawings similar to what is currently being spoken about. But I'm not gonna draw a picture of Donald Trump, no. Pizza! No. But, I mean, if Ted Cruz kills Zodiacs, oh, dang. I'm gonna have to just touch something on that for the Zodiac killer. So, in my opinion, I think it's just kind of weird, though, that, well, I don't know what I think. That, I mean, yeah, it could be possible, but not likely. But it's just kind of weird that it kind of coincides with it, and that the characters are very similar to. And apparently, the pictures of Baron Trump from back then are insanely close to how Baron Trump currently looks today. So I think it could be likely, but not at the same time. But it's just kind of weird that those line up very, very well. So what do you guys think? Donald Trump a time traveler? Yes? No? Possibly? Okay, so let's see, Kurt. Let's see. I'm going to find a good picture of the moon to draw. And I'm going to do this in pencil mode because that looks really cool in pencil. Let's see. All right. Let's do Donald Trump, not a time traveler. Only place he travels is to the golf course. I mean, you're not wrong. He does go golf a lot and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I said, you're not wrong. But the option is still there. Seeing as conspiracy theorists have been proven right a few times, so they don't seem as batty. So you gotta take that into consideration too. Let's see, man. Never made it to the moon. One giant lie. Why so many people still think the moon landings were faked? I mean, if he was a time traveler, why is still aloof on stuff? Well, that would also explain as to why he's a multimillionaire as well. Because I don't know too much history on Donald Trump, but I had heard some stuff that he just came out of nowhere, just having a lot of money at one point, and like he's old money, not necessarily new money, and he just literally went, and then he was an entertainer and stuff like that too, so it would kind of explain some things, you know. Unless he's just acting like the idiot just to kind of play everything off, you know? Alright, so on to his dad gave him a small loan of $1 million. A small loan? Yeah, I know. It's like, here you go, son. Here's a small loan of $1 million. Just take it and go invest in a business or something. Yes. I want $1 million loan. Dude, if everyone had a small loan, I think that the U.S. government could give a small loan like that. With as much money as they make off people from taxes and stuff like that, they can certainly afford to pay $1 million per person. Ugh, I am not happy with that. Man, people could do a whole lot of stuff with that. I mean, it would really give a boost to the economy for one. So if they want to look at it that way, I mean, shoot. Dude, the banks could cut people a healthy check just in overdraft fees and monthly account charge. But anywho, yeah, like, I don't know if some of you guys have bank accounts and stuff like that, but if, like, say, you don't have enough money in your account, right? And something runs through, unfortunately, instead of the bank denying it right then and there, they let it run through, right? And you go into the negative on your account, then they'll charge like anywhere between $35 and $40 in overdraft fees, and then you just keep getting deeper into the hole until you can cover that debt, which is stupid because you didn't have money in the first place. But yeah, it's just it would help out a whole lot of people if they did. But anyway, my lopsided moon. So, I know a little bit on the theory of the moon landing conspiracy is that to compete in the space race with Russia, who had already gotten a satellite up into space, the United States is suspected to have faked the moon landing. So they said that it was staged in a studio, and then the way people bounced it was awkward. But the thing is, at the time they didn't really know how space would be like, that kind of thing, other than sending monkeys and dogs and pigs and all that stuff into space. But that they staged it, and then the movement of the rover was unnatural, and then that the flag was stiff, and then their lighting was really weird. There's just like a whole bunch of things like, let me see if I can. Let's see, it says it took 400,000 NASA employees and contractors to put Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon in 1969, but only one man to spread the idea that it was all a hoax. His name was Bill Casing. Wow. It begins as a hunch, intuition, before turning into a true conviction that the United States lacked technical prowess to make it to the moon. Oh, see you later, Aiden. I'll talk to you later. That the United States lacked technical prowess to make it to the moon, or at least to the moon and back. Casing had actually contributed to the U.S. space program, albeit tenuously, between 1956 and 1963. He was an employee of Rocketdyne, a company that helped design Saturn V rocket engines in 1976. He self-published a pamphlet called We Never Went to the Moon, America's $30 billion Swindle, which sought evidence for his conviction by means of grainy photocopies and ludicrous theories, yet somehow he establishes a few perennials that kept alive today in Hollywood movies and Fox News documentaries and Reddit forums and YouTube channels. That the moon was made of cheese. I mean, if you kind of look at the moon, it looks like a mix of cheeses, you know? And then, like, the whole thing about the dark side of the moon, stuff like that. But yeah, that's just a little touching on the whole moon theory. That we never made it to the moon. So what do you guys think? Do you think we actually made it to the moon, even though we have a space station in space at the moment? think logically we have flight, we have satellite up there, and the space station. Is it so much of a stretch to say we've landed on the moon? Yeah, America is kind of known for fidgeting some stuff, so. Let's see. But I do agree with you, Ginge, that we do have the capability of flight. We do have the ability to get into outer space, and we currently do have people in space, so it's not far-fetched that we have landed on the moon. I think we did, frankly, because other people are like talking about how stiff the way the flag moves. Apparently had wiring and stuff in there. I wouldn't know about such thing. The UK isn't as honest as they say. I think it's like that with all countries. All countries, I think, have a tendency to exaggerate a few things just so they can seem like the popular one in the group. If you catch my drift. You only go logic. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing. I'm going to cross-hatch this a little bit. Like, there's also another theory about the dark side of the moon. That's where aliens are. Woo! Aliens. Draw some stars here since we're talking about space. The wires of the flag would make sense. If there's no atmosphere, then there wouldn't necessarily be any wind to the extent of the flag, therefore it would need to be wired to be seen. And I completely agree with that. Because that's just exactly that. And then people are like, well, what about solar winds? You know, what pushes the dust around on the moon? And da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, it would be plausible that they would do that because, I mean, technically there's less gravity there and everything like that. So, I mean, you know? If dust was pushed around, then we wouldn't see as many craters as we do. That would be like deserts and sand dunes. Well, that would be true too. And plus, when like the asteroids and stuff hit the moon, it's like that kind of thing. All right, so now on to the next theory. Logic for the win! Woo! Alright, so on to the 9/11 theory. Where that one, I was actually present in school when this happened. They dismissed school early because they said the United States was under threat of terrorist attack. At the time, we didn't know exactly what was going on or why it was happening. I mean, because I was in 7th grade. A lot of 7th graders are just like, yeah, I don't really give a crap. But they did lock us down for a while because there were several attacks, especially on the Pentagon. And, of course, the Twin Towers. There was speculation that one of the hijacked planes crashed into a field. There's several speculations around that. So this one I do know a little bit more on than the other conspiracy theories because I lived it. That kind of thing. So the theory is that, well, it's not a theory. What is stated fact right now is that 9/11 occurred because there was a series of coordinated hijackings on some airliners, and it was a direct statement that was being put to the United States saying we will not give in to you infidels and everything like that, and and then they just pretty much suicided the fucking towers that were there. Pardon my language, I didn't mean to, I got into it. But yeah, they hit the towers and then hit a bunch of other places and stuff like that, and like a lot of people died. So it was super sad, but in the events of it happening, though, it did unify the United States for the longest period of time, but it did bring forth the Patriot Act and the extraneous TSA checkpoints inside the airport and everything like that to prevent terrorist attacks from happening again. So I am going to draw some little buildings and stuff. So I'm going to draw New York as it looked before the terrorist attack. So now getting into it, for the theory of it is that 9/11 was an inside job. Now, there's been a lot of video proof out there. You can check it out yourself. I'm not going to pull up videos and waste your time. Take away from the artwork and everything like that. That it was an inside job done by the United States itself just to cause a whole bunch of crap. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You can even look them up while I'm doing this. I don't care, because that's not kind of what I'm doing, is that if I don't know the theory, I will actually look it up. But, yeah, that it was an inside job done by the United States just so that they could cause some travesty in the United States and try to tear us apart and everything like that. Which brings us into the steel beam theory of 9/11. Now, when the planes hit the towers, the first plane hit this tower right here. Oh, you're fine, you're fine. This tower right here that I'm kind of outlining a little bit. This was the first tower to get hit. Yeah, so they could start a war. They could start a war. It was another excuse to start a war. But this tower right here was hit first, and it was struck about right there. So these buildings were designed in mind to have these steel beams running up, right? And their melting point is very, 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 very high. Let me see, just so I can get my facts straight. Melting point of steel beams. The melting point of steel beams is about 2,500 to 2,800 degrees Fahrenheit, or 1371 to 1540 degrees Celsius. That's a pretty high burning point. And here's the thing that people argue. Jet fuel flashpoint, pretty much. Oh, no, not flashpoint. Jet fuel burning rate. Or temperature. Okay, so Steel beams, it says according to this, it's about 277 degrees Fahrenheit, and jet fuel only burns at 1517 degrees Fahrenheit. So that means that jet fuel cannot burn or melt down the beams in the Twin Towers or any kind of steel beams. So that brings the theory is that there were accounts of multiple explosions after this plane hit, and then this plane got hit right here around the same spot. I'm kind of just drawing X's on here. So this tower was the first to collapse, and then this one was the second tower to collapse. And then there was this random building over here. Building 7 was not hit, but it collapsed. So that's where people were like, okay, well, we heard explosions in the tower, which is natural, but they could see before it collapsed, almost bomb-like explosions going off right here, and then it was free fall speeds going straight down. Okay, it says, yeah, I understand there's a massive difference between temperature of the two things, but I did always wonder about the chimney effect, areas drawn into the bottom of the building generating... Oh, I'm coughing today. A massive amount of oxygen to burn, therefore increasing the temperature, but it was proven, like, I think Mythbusters actually did something on it. Don't quote me on it, because I'll have to look it up just to be sure, but I almost can remember Mythbusters doing a thing on that if it can, and they found out that it couldn't. But it started up at the top, and then it fell at free fall speeds, because if you've ever seen a building get demolished, or if you've ever seen a building get blown up, it goes boom everywhere. So, yeah, that's true. It normally, like, if you see it, it goes boom, right? If something blows up. But the thing is that there was, like, controlled explosions going all the way down, and then it had a free fall speed where it collapsed down and did not take this building with it to start off with, which is odd, because if something were to explode, it's going to go boom, 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 and go out that way. So after this one free fell, I cannot speak. This one free fell, controlled almost like explosion. Again, boom, 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 in a nearly identical manner. But also, the thing is behind this too is that these towers were built to withstand they thought of everything, withstand earthquakes, hurricanes, you name it. These buildings were designed to withstand it, including aerial plane accidents. So for a 747 to take down two towers and take out a separate building next to it, which in turn was a controlled explosion kind of theory again, is kind of weird in itself. So, like, it caused the start monitors to crash and everything like that. And plus, George Bush was in a elementary school and was reading books to children while this was all going on. Now, George Bush definitely was not the smartest president on the earth. But apparently he was told, and people were like, oh, well, he didn't react to it, so he knew what was going on. The FBI and the CIA, they all knew what was going on and stuff like that. But the whole, the Titanic effect. See, I don't know anything about the Titanic effect. I'll have to look into it. Alright. I'm just kind of doodling as I'm talking right now. Okay. I do not want to save that. So, yeah, that's the 9/11 series. There's actually a bunch of videos out there, like Zeitgeist and stuff like that, that go into the idea that it was a government-planned issue, because some of the people who survived said that the building had been cleared out the day before it happened. Mysterious crop circles. Oh, that's a good one. I'll have to draw some crop circles. So there was apparently some people had said that they heard multiple explosions popping, and that also the day before it happened is that the buildings were cleared out for the case of a terrorist attack. I think if it was to be a governmental thing, the president would not be involved and would have been done behind the scenes. Would you trust Bush or Trump with a secret? No. But in a sense, I do believe that he was involved, in a sense. I mean, George Bush put himself out to be kind of an idiot, but I think he's smarter than he puts himself off to be. That kind of thing. Because I'm almost 100% sure 90% of the time he was drunk. Like, really. So that just caused a whole cascade of things. No pun intended, but yeah. So, okay. I'll get to Titanic here in a minute. But, okay, so now we're going to get into crop circles. So, crop circles. If you're not familiar, I've lived down the road. Crop circle capital of the world. Yeah, England, from what I've seen and read and stuff like that, you guys tend to get visited a lot. Which is the funny part. So, crop circles are amazing in themselves. They're fantastically done, beautiful art, in my opinion. But there are people out there who believe that aliens created these. It's aliens, man. So, crop circles, if you're not familiar with what they are, I'm pretty sure everyone is in Wiltshire. But, yeah, if you're not familiar with what they are, crop circles, they're strange patterns that appear mysteriously overnight in farmers' fields. And to provoke puzzlement, delight, and intrigue amongst the press and public alike, circles are mostly found in the United Kingdom. That's where Ginger's from, so he probably know. Well, he already said. But have spread to dozens of countries around the world in past decades. The mystery has inspired countless books, blogs, fan groups, research, dubbed serologists, and even Hollywood films. Despite having studied these for decades, the question remains, who or what is making them? So, many people believe that cross circles have been reported for centuries, a claim repeated in many books and websites devoted to the mystery. Their primary piece of evidence is a woodcut from 1678 that appears to show a field of oat stalks laid out into a circle. Some take this to be the first-hand eyewitness account of a crop circle, but the little historical investigation shows otherwise. So some claim that the first crop circles, they were not called that for at the time, appeared near a small town of Tully, Australia in 1966. Ice circles. I'll have to look those up. Are they pretty much the same? Oh, I have seen those. It's like the ice that spins around like that. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. Because apparently that's a weird natural phenomenon. So, apparently in Tully, Australia in 1966 is when the first crop circle showed up. A farmer said he saw a flying saucer rise up from a swampy area and then fly away. So, as in the 1678 Mowing Devil legend, the case for it being linked to crop circles is especially weak. So, modern crop circles, July of 1986, one of the world's most complex and spectacular crop circles appeared in England. So, that's just a little bit of background with it and stuff like that. So, I'll actually, hold on, before I continue with it, I will start to draw some crop circles for you. They're really, really neat, and they're beautifully done. Mine are going to be super crappy compared. But they're really beautifully done. Like, if they are done by aliens, they're geniuses. So, that kind of thing. And then it goes the circle right here. So, here is one of the Apollomalus blah 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 circles that was found. So I'm just going to kind of draw it. And then this little one that comes up like this. And then a circle right here. A circle right here. And a lot of people believe that these circles are messages from aliens for hopes to have our species decode them. And that they're kind of a warning of what's to come and everything like that. And then there's a bunch of little circles that go around in a circle. So it comes around like this. I am not doing this crop circle any justice. But yeah, this is how it kind of looks. I'm just doing a quick sketch of it just so you guys can see. Like, it comes off like that. Or there's several others where it's like spirals. Like almost near perfect symmetrical. Like there's another one. I'm just going to draw a quick sketch of it real quick. It kind of looks like this. Where it has a circle, a line, big line, and then a little line, and then a circle, and a circle, and then another circle, and then a bigger circle that comes around this way. Should have gone all the way around like that. And then another circle. Lots of circles here. So if you need practicing drawing circles, draw some crop circles. And so you got ones that look like that, or there's a really famous one that actually takes the shape of an alien. And then this theme right here is actually quite common in the crop circles. So it has like a kind of like a spiral that goes around like this, and then there's a circle right here in the middle, has like a yin yang thing circle, another yin yang thing circle, another yin yang thing circle, that kind of thing. It's just, there's a whole bunch of stuff like with the cold crop circles, but it says there's someone who's like a Horace Drew, who's a molecular biologist, suggests that the answer lies inside time travel or alien life. So there's actually scientists out there that believe, of course, there's life out there and everything like that, because it's going to be kind of hard not to be the only creatures out here. It's even more complex when you find out some crops are bent on the joint of the corn, which doesn't happen until they get heated to stupid temperatures. And you were correct. That was the other thing I was getting ready to bring up. There's some crop circles and stuff that have been found to, when they are bent, they don't break. Because normally if somebody were to man-made do it or anything like that, they would break. So that's the other thing people are kind of worried about. But then there was a guy that came forward and was like, yeah, I'm the mastermind behind crop circles. Da 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 da. So there's that conflicting theory right there. So ice circles are supposedly naturally occurring phenomenon when the current starts to get too. Let me so I don't sound like an idiot trying to. What are ice circles? So ice discs form the outer bends of a river while their accelerating water creates force, calling a rotational shear, which breaks off a chunk of the ice and it twists around. As the disc rotates, it grinds against the surrounding ice, smoothing into a circle. A relatively uncommon phenomenon, with one of the earliest recordings of slowly revolving discs spotted on the Mayas River, reported in 1895. Oh, yeah! That, oh man, now I got, don't get me started on Princess Diana. She, in my opinion at the time, she ruined my birthday because she died on my birthday. So every year after that, there was always some stuff on the TV about Princess Diana. I fully believe she was murdered by the royal family because she refused to conform to what they wanted. Simple as that. So it kind of, me as an American, it kind of, it happening on my birthday kind of put a sore spot on me a little bit. But people loved her. Like, she was considered the people's princess. She was a very kind-hearted person, and she was not afraid to speak her mind, which the Queen did not like. So on the night of August 31st, 1997, something terrible happened. The princess... Oh, what happened on your B-Day? And then I'll jump back into that. Oh, well, that's sad. I'm sorry. That's definitely more depressing than this. Anyway, let's move on. Topic. Woo, that kind of got gloomy for a minute, even though I'm talking about this over here. And don't fret, he was a horrible man. I didn't know. Anyway, so on the night of August 31st, 1997, something terrible certainly happened. Princess Diana was killed in a fatal car crash in Paris, and the effects would be felt around the world. But that is where the consensus ends. For some people, what happened that night wasn't simply a tragic accident. Instead, it was the result of some kind of conspiracy conducted secretly by the agents of the British state or something else they claim. Numerous reports, investigations, and experts have all agreed with the official account of events that Diana has been in a car driven by a man who was drunk, and that failing, as well as other institutional ones, allowed for the tragedy to happen. Now, from what I understand before I continue reading it, is what I've heard is that the driver was hired by the Queen herself because Diana refused to conform to what the royal family wanted, and she knew the royal family hated her for it. Like, they flat out asked her, "Is like, do you think you'd ever become queen?" And she goes, in a live interview, she goes, "No, I won't." And he's like, "Well, why do you think that?" She goes, the royal family won't allow it." And he's like, "So do you think they don't like you?" And she goes, "I know they don't, because I won't do what they tell me to." That kind of thing. And that was literally one of the last interviews that she gave publicly before she was killed. I say she was murdered, but that's what a lot of theories. So apparently there was 175 different theories out there, and the theory was that Diana was pregnant with one of her trainer's kids, and there's also speculation that goes into that Prince Harry is not Prince Charles, or not Prince Charles. Yeah, I think Prince Charles. Yes. So, yeah, that she was pregnant with this guy she was having an affair with, and that her eldest son was not the current prince's son. So there was speculation on that. Yeah, Charles. Okay, yeah. And don't fret. Yeah. Because I was like... Because... I mean, but she was... Like I said, she was the people's princess, though. And people loved her. So I don't understand why the Queen would hate somebody who could potentially have a positive influence on her country. You know, do what's best for her country and not be like, "Well, I'm just going to be an old croon and just... So, but Prince Charles was having an affair on the side, and there was speculation that he had an illegitimate child, whereas also Princess Diana was having an affair on the side as well, and of course divorce was not allowed. Because for one, that looked bad for the royal family and everything like that. So... And Princess Diana wanted out of it. Like, she seriously did. She wanted out of it. But she loved Charles and she loved her son. So she decided to stick around for a little bit. And then that's when the unthinkable happened. Yeah, the queen had no control over her. She did her own thing for the most part, and she attempted to do kind of like what the Duchess is doing. I don't think they're calling her the Duchess anymore. Which there was fear that Meghan, I can't remember her last name, it was in danger just like the princess, because they were calling her, oh, you're the next Diana, you're the next Diana. And the queen was not liking the comparison for that. So there was fear that she could potentially have her life in danger and everything like that. Sorry, I'm also drawing a picture of Princess Diana, so just to kind of go with what we're talking with right now. But apparently Meghan Markle, she was almost following in the same footsteps. This is why Kate didn't like her, the queen didn't like her, and there's a couple other the royal family members that didn't like Meghan, and that there was rumor that she was pregnant even before she got into the marriage to kind of trap the prince. So that's where that was getting all into thrown out of thing, and that's probably why, like, there's a theory that that's why Meghan and her husband left the royal family and they decided to go live on their own. But yeah, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, she would have been a fantastic queen, which I thoroughly believe she would be, even though I am not a resident of England. I don't know a lot about what goes on there and everything like that, but from what I've seen and stuff like that, she actually would have made a fantastic queen, and she would have done a lot to change the country. There was also rumors and speculation that she was for disbandment of the monarchy, which the queen didn't like either. Because she believed that everyone should be equal. You know, there shouldn't be one royal family presiding over England and everything like that. And she was all for trying to get that disbanded. Which, you know, that didn't sit well. I think I made that eye a little too big. So that led up to the whole thing where that the prince and everything was in on it, you know, just so he could marry somebody else and yada, yada, yada. So there's also another theory out there that the driver was drugged. He didn't have anything to do with it, and he was just killed. But I do agree, I think she would have been a great queen, yes. But me being a child, I was very upset because she was killed on my birthday and ruined any kind of birthday programming that I would watch. Don't get mad at me, because this is actually how the drawing is. This caricature, they drew her, so not mine. FYI. But from what I heard, she's a very gentle soul, spoke her mind and everything like that. And yeah, Queen hated her guts, so she's like, off with her head! Better yet, off with her car! That kind of thing. I know, I'm kind of being a goober. But yeah, there's a lot of stories about, like, with you, Ginge, being in England, what conspiracy theories have you heard based around the royal family? Because other than Prince Charles right now being accused of pedophilia and everything like that, and having relations with minors and stuff like that, being all in this whole Lewis Carroll, the Jack the Ripper. Another one that my birthday is notoriously infamous for. I will get to that in just a minute. Because I was born on August 31st at 10:11 p.m. And apparently that's when Jack the Ripper did his first murder way back when. So that was another fun fact I always was able to hold on to in school. And everyone was like, dude, you had a murder on your birthday? Well, I had several murders. Like Aaliyah, the singer or whatever. I don't think it was on my birthday, but I think it was the day before my birthday that this happened, where she was killed in the aircraft accident and everything like that. Let's see. Let me finish up my Princess Diana drawing before I start into another conspiracy theory. But actually, I like the Jack the Ripper theories, though. Those are very interesting. Didn't they say that they actually technically found out who the murderer was? Does anybody know? Brush size bigger. So bump, 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 bump. The frills that the people from the 80s used to always wear. Let's color this in. And there's a quick caricature of... Oh, I was asking what theories you had heard, seeing as you're in London, or England, about the royal family conspiracy on Princess Diana. This is not my drawing. This is a rendition of a caricature that I found. So I'm not claiming this as my own. But yeah, that's Princess Diana for you. All right. Let's see. New. We'll call this one Jack the Ripper. So, Jack the Ripper. So, does everyone know who Jack the Ripper is? Just before, right off, and I can go in the main was the assassination, but done on French soil to make it look strange. Yeah, I completely agree on that one. I've actually heard theories about that. Jack the Ripper was part of the royal family? That's a very interesting thought. And things get interesting. drawing a Jack the Ripper themed picture here, so bear with me as I get the start of this. Okay, so here's a little backstory on Jack the Ripper if you are not familiar with him. Is that he was an unidentified serial killer active in the largely impoverished areas around the Whitechapel district of London in 1888. In both criminal case files and contemporary journalist accounts, the killer was called the Whitechapel Murderer and the Leather Apron. So pretty much it goes into as to the crimes that he committed. He worked and lived in the slums of London, pretty much preying on prostitutes and everything like that. First one, and then they progressively got worse till there. If you've ever seen the movie From Hell, that is a good representation of what the case files are and everything like that. So check that movie out. It is very graphic, but yeah. So yeah, he mostly preyed on prostitutes and those poor, like, I guess there's rumors flying around that he just wanted to get some sick kicks. You know, he was like the, at the time, Dexter kind of thing. A lot of people also believe that it was a hoax just to scare people. So the murders, a large number of the attacks against women in the East and during the times adds uncertainty as to how many victims were murdered by the same individual. 11 separate murders stretching from April 3rd, 1888 to February 1981. Apparently, there was one that actually got away. Smith was robbed and sexually assaulted on Osborne Street, Whitechapel, at approximately 1:30 a.m. on April 3rd, 1888. She had been bludgeoned about the face and received a cut to her ear. So yeah, there was a theories that it was a local surgeon and everything like that that was causing these murders, and that it was somebody wealthy, and then there was like another one that it was just somebody who was just really sick in the head. But it was never known, because apparently he left a lot of clues potentially as to who he is. Like there was writings and letters and all that fun stuff. And so, yeah, what's your guys' take on that? And then Ginge has the thought of that Jack the Ripper is related to the royal family. Which I have never heard that theory before, and if he's not busy with a customer, I would love for him to elaborate on that. From the case files I have read, he was definitely an educated man, as he knew surgery. Yeah, because only most people that knew that kind of stuff were very well educated and definitely very well versed on anatomy, especially to the extent of what was being done to these women. But like I said, there was also speculation that, you know, they figured out who the killer was and everything like that. And like, but the thing is, it's like, how do you potentially know who the killer is from that long ago without any solid evidence and without having ever been there? Other than the graphologists. Like, the letters that were written and stuff by Jack the Ripper, they were studied by graphologists and stuff like that as to, like, the potential behavior. Because with graphology, you can tell a lot about what's going on and everything like that. But if you don't know what graphology is, It's a study of handwriting. And, okay, so it says Prince Albert Victor was the theory. Prince Albert. Let me look at it. Prince Albert Jack the Ripper. Okay, so one of the most intriguing and sensational contenders for the Jack the Ripper's grim legacy is Prince Albert Victor, the son of King Edward VII and the grandson of Queen Victoria. Known to his family as Eddie, the prince was second in line to the throne when he died of influenza at age 28. See, I did not know about that theory. That it potentially could have been somebody in the royal family and everything like that. I'm just kind of doodling my version of a Jack the Ripper. Crackety hair, crackety hair, crackety hair, crackety hair, crackety hair, crackety hair. It would explain a sudden disappearance, and it would explain, like, because even though he quote-unquote died of influenza at the age of 28, that could have been easily a cover-up for the royal family, because, you know, they're notorious for that kind of stuff. It was also spawned the legend of the spring-heeled Jack as well. I do not know what that is, so I will actually look that up as well. Spring-heeled Jack. Legend of the spring-heeled Jack, the demon killer. Spring-heeled Jack is an entity in English folklore of the Victorian era that first claimed the sighting of the spring-heeled Jack was in 1837. Later sightings were reported all over Great Britain, especially prevalent into suburban London and the Midlands of Scotland. There are many theories about the nature and identity of the spring-heeled Jack. The urban legend was very popular in its time due to the tales of the bizarre appearance and ability to make extraordinary leaps to the point to where it became a topic of several works of fiction. It was described by people who claim to have seen him as having terrifying and frightful appearance with diabolical physiognomy, clawed hands, and eyes that resembled red balls of fire. Woo. Oi. There we go. One report claimed that beneath a black cloak, he wore a helmet and a tight-fitting white garment like an oilskin. Many stories also mention a devil-like aspect. The others said he was tall and thin, with the appearance of a gentleman. Shush. I get really into him, okay? Many stories had a level-like aspect. Others said that he was tall and thin with the appearance of a gentleman. Several reports mentioned that he could breathe out blue and white flames, that he wore sharp metallic claws on his fingertips. At least 2 people claimed that he was able to speak comprehensible English. Huh. So were there talks of, like, potentially that he could be the Jack the Ripper killer? Or the murderer and stuff like that? Oh, wait, let me make this bigger. Boy, he was known to run the streets of England and cause terror amongst the women of the working field. Myths and legends are my thing. Haha. Well, good. I kind of like the vibe of this picture. I really do. I like it. I love how it turned out. But yes, that's all I really know about Jack the Ripper. Like, there's a lot of, like, tales out there and stuff like that that I'm not too familiar with. But, yeah. Next time I might do, for You Pick It, You Draw It, maybe do some, like, mythology and stuff like that. You guys, like, pick, like, something from mythology and everything like that, and, go on from there and just kind of give you a backstory of all that fun stuff. But, yeah, thank you to the 6 of you who joined me tonight. Cthulhu! But yeah, thank you for the 6 of you who joined me tonight. If you haven't hit that like button and subscribing is free. I greatly appreciate it. I have talked myself to death and my throat is sore. So I am going to probably go ahead and end my stream with Jack the Ripper. And yeah, it was a very entertaining night. What you guys think? Or Quetzalcoatl, yeah. So what did you guys think of tonight? Was it fun actually having like a topic of conversation to talk about, or you just like the standard you pick it, I draw it? I know Aiden kind of bailed out a little bit, which I don't blame him. He's a young kid, so I mean a lot of this stuff would probably not be interesting for him. But yeah, did you guys enjoy the stream? And I could do more like it. Well, good. I will definitely do more like it then. I might kind of do like an every other week thing where it's just like 1 week it's just a standard you pick it, you draw, I draw it. And then the week after that we do like you pick it, I draw it, mythology, themed stuff like that. Just to kind of change it up so it's not the same thing over and over and over kind of thing. So yeah, I'll actually do more studies ahead of time. So that way I can not spend so much time searching for it, but it helped out actually having something there to kind of show me what was there and everything like that. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't liked this video, please like this video if you genuinely liked it, or dislike it if you hate it. So either way, that way I know. But other than that, good night everyone. I will see you on Friday.